Hello and welcome everyone to Awakening Spiritual Intelligence. Today's theme is freedom, and I'll hand it over to Yosi.
Thank you, Pauline. So welcome to the Pauline and Yossi show, as Pauline called it. Well, I think she said the Yossi show. I figured it's actually the Pauline and Yossi show. It's been fun doing this with you, Pauline. So we hope to entertain and enlighten you, and if we fail at both counts, hey, we tried. I hope you give us some credit for a good effort. And feel free to join me in being silly. From time to time, I get permission from the powers that be to go ahead and be silly. So, and occasionally I do submit. So now, on a more serious note, if I told you that freedom and liberation come through submission, that would sound a little strange. To be free, we must become slaves. Slaves, you say? Yeah, slaves to the truth, slaves to reality. Fighting reality is a losing proposition, a losing battle. We might as well align with reality, aligned with, or I might say, submit to the truth. For when we're aligned with reality, when we submit to truth, we have reality and truth on our side. Our egos try as they might to bend reality to our will, but it doesn't really work. And I don't know about you, but I would much rather have reality and truth on my side. In the long run, those will win every time. So we might as well learn to love the truth, align with reality, or submit to divine will. Or a more politically correct way of saying this is submit to the creative intelligence of life. Yes, unfortunately, and perhaps understandably, with so much trauma and pain inflicted in the name of God, in the name of religion, God has become a dirty word in some circles. But that's a whole other topic, which I will avoid for now. But reality is that what most of the world's wisdom and spiritual traditions speak of liberation through surrender, surrender to divine will or to the beloved, as the Sufis would refer to it. So we would say, let thy will be done. We can tell our beloved, take me, I'm yours, have your way with me, and do with me as you wish. Perhaps you experienced the ecstasy of such complete and total surrender to the beloved, to your beloved at some point. Now we're interested in freedom and liberation. So, what does freedom mean and what limits our freedom? We often think of freedom, our freedom is limited when we're put in some jail. We're locked up and someone else has the key. We're not free to come and go as we wish. But when we are talking about spiritual intelligence and the quality of freedom, we're not talking about such freedom. We're talking about more our experience of inner freedom. And as Viktor Frankl, who lived in concentration camps in Nazi Germany, tells us, everything can be taken from a man or a woman, I would add, but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. So obviously, Viktor Frankl was not free to come and go as he wished. In fact, his life was in constant danger in a concentration camp. Yet, yet, he spoke of freedom. I think that's pretty incredible. But it points to our capacity to take responsibility. And this kind of inner freedom implies responsibility. We often think of and feel responsibility as a burden, as a duty, as something we might be obligated to do. We might feel even our responsibility limits our freedom. But if we parse the word responsibility, you actually see it's made of two parts, responsibility. So, responsibility is our ability to respond to the situation, to choose our response. So, freedom and responsibility go together. As the cliche goes, with freedom comes responsibility. And when we are free, when we are response able, our choices come from within and we are inner directed. We are the prime cause of our being, as well as the prime cause of our becoming. The person we are becoming fresh and anew in each moment. Yes, in each moment, we are free to become and show up as a new version, a new model of ourselves. We might think of ourselves as a sad person or an angry person or even a smart person. In reality, those are just identities and labels that we put on ourselves. They are not necessarily bad, but they might limit our freedom. I might think I'm a sad person because of what happened to me in my childhood with my parents. Like my own mom was often sad, and I have internalized and absorbed some of her sadness. This is, in fact, true about me. So, one way is to stay stuck and limit my freedom is to blame my sadness on my mother. I'm sad because of her. It's not my fault, I tell her. I tell myself. Well, that's a sucker's prize, really. Yes, you and I and each of us are not our fault, but we are our responsibility. So let me say it again. You are not your fault. You are your responsibility. So see if you could take that in. I am not my fault. I am my responsibility. What's it like to just affirm that? Perhaps it's a little more empowering. So let's stop playing the blame and shame game and take responsibility. So, because we often think that, what limits our freedom is outside forces. So let's see, we have a quote here from Don Miguel Ruiz who says, "Who stops us from being free? We blame the government, we blame the weather, we blame our parents, we blame religion, we blame God. Who really stops us from being free? We stop ourselves." So, yes, we're talking about responsibility and taking ownership, as was put in the chat here. Now, this is not to deny the reality of or my history and the ways is it has affected us. It is important to understand and work with it. But while it might be true that some of my sadness has roots in my history, which is, again, as I said, true in my case, at this very moment, I'm really free to let go or even just allow the sadness to be there, which I'm feeling right now, just feeling the image of the sad face of my mom. But I'm also feeling joyous at the same time. I think it's pretty incredible that I could time travel and be with the sadness and the joy of this moment of curiously exploring this experience of being with you. So I get to choose. I have some freedom. I don't have to be stuck in some identity or historical experience. So what this speaks of is that what, again, going back to Viktor Frankl, who said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. So when we create the space between the stimulus and response, instead of reacting, we respond. We are responsible. And that gives us that freedom of choice to be skillful to respond in a way that's skillful, that's discerning, that's authentic, that's skillful, etc. So let's see if we can put some of these insights, particularly these two insights from Viktor Frankl. We're always free and have the power to choose our attitude, as he tells us, or reminds us. Now, one of the important things we get to choose is the attitude towards ourselves. Are we kind and loving towards ourselves or not? Now, that's a huge topic, and for many of us, it's easier said than done to be kind, to be loving to ourselves. It's a huge thing. So let's see if we can actually break it down. And instead of speaking about our attitude towards ourselves in general, such as being kind, loving, or rejecting, judgmental, etc., all the ways we can have these attitudes towards ourselves, let's just look at our attitude towards our experience in the moment. So I'm going to invite us all to do a little experiment here together. Before that, I'm going to take a drink of water. So let's take a moment and notice our lived experience in this moment. Just tune in, drop in, and most likely it might have some pleasant as well as unpleasant aspects. Pick one of those unpleasant dimensions of your experience. It could be some ache in some part of your body, or some whatever it might be, or some lingering feeling that you have or from something, uh, or an uncomfortable feeling in your stomach or digestion, like I am having in this moment. Thanks for a delicious dinner I had last night. So you could pick whatever, and I'm sorry if that was TMI, too much information. So, but pick one of those unpleasant dimensions of your experience. It could be some pain, discomfort, or sadness, or anger, or whatever it might be. And as you notice that, notice your attitude towards it. Perhaps you want it to go away. That's, after all, very natural. So try in your mind or whisper to yourself, this sadness, this pain, this tightness, this anger, whatever it is, I want you to go away. Go away. And notice what happens. Does it disappear? Do you feel more or less comfortable as you try and get rid of that unpleasant experience or that unpleasant dimension of your experience? Now, chances are, for most people, our body gets tighter and the discomfort does not go away, doesn't cease. So, consciously or unconsciously, this is what most of us try to do most of the time. In a way, it makes sense and it seems natural. We ask the unwanted visitors to leave, but unfortunately, it just doesn't work. So, let's see if we can adopt a different strategy. And what if, instead of rejecting or resisting this unpleasant experience, we allow it instead? So go ahead and simply bring your gentle awareness and touch this experience. And begin by simply and curiously exploring this unpleasant feeling, sensation, whatever it is. What's it like? What is the physiology of this? How is it affecting my breath? How is it affecting the tension or ease in my body? What thought forms come up in my mind associated with this unpleasant experience? So just notice and allow everything to be there as it is. Now, for a more advanced practice, try treating this unpleasant experience in all its components with reverence. After all, it is part of the one reality, part of the dependent co-origination, is also known in the Buddhist tradition as interdependent co-arising, which is a core Buddhist principle that describes how things arise dependence on multiple causes and condition. Everything is interconnected, interdependent. So rather than existing in as independent entities, so if everything is interconnected and interdependent, if we get rid of something that's quote unquote unpleasant, it's going to affect all the things that we love as they are. So you can't really yank out something that we don't like and not affect the things that we do like. So rejecting this one bad thing would be really in reality rejecting the whole. So we most likely don't want to do that. Now, another way to look at this when I'm inviting you to treat this unpleasant thing with reverence might be to just consider it as it is part of the one, part of God, if you will. So after all, this experience is part of divine creation and divine will. So we might not want to fight, but rather treat it with reverence. This is how divine is expressing itself in this moment. So if this is accessible to you, I know this is sometimes a mind bend that is not so easy to do, but if it is accessible to you, try to treat this unpleasant experience with an open embrace or even reverence. And if it's not accessible, just simply allow it to be as it is, like we started with, noticing the sensations, the thought forms, the physiology that goes with it, simply noticing it. And now notice how you're experiencing this quote unquote negative experience, unpleasant experience in this moment. And now that you've allowed and explored this unpleasant experience, let's include our connection to Mother Earth. Simply notice the weight of the body, the gravitational pull of Mother Earth pulling you into her center, as if hugging you and pulling you into her core, like a mother would with her child, her baby. And while at the same time, Mother Earth, through its surface kin of the ground, the earth, the soil, through the ground and the floor, it is supporting you, supporting us to remain in place here, now, experiencing whatever you are experiencing. While the earth is spinning around our axis, as well as rotating around the sun, all of that while holding you, holding us, and taking us along for the ride. So while feeling the weight of the body, you can also feel the contact and pressure of the surfaces that are keeping you in place. Could be your feet on the ground, the cushion under your seat. So notice what it's like now to allow all of that to be there together, which obviously it is. So we're allowing the unpleasant experience as it is, and including our connection and relationship to Mother Earth to be here together without fixating on any particular thing. Your your awareness might bounce back and forth, move back and forth between the unpleasant experience as well as the earth or anything else that might flow through your awareness. But just take a moment and notice what it's like to allow the unpleasant experience and include the connection and relationship to Mother Earth. So Now, having included and allowed our original experience and included Mother Earth, let's include more. What else is accessible in your awareness? Maybe some other sensations, perhaps pressure, the touch of your hands resting on your lap or some surface, any temperature sensations in the body. Some places might be warm, like the under armpit, or might be cool breeze on of the air on the face. Notice the flow of the breath or any sounds or the space and the air around the body. Whatever it is, simply notice, allow, and include it as well. So keep allowing and including more and more and more. And notice now what happens as you allow this process to unfold, allowing and including ground and earth and including more and more. What are you experiencing now? What is your relationship to the original unpleasant experience that you begun with? Is there more freedom and overall ease? So the acronym for this method, this practice, is AIM. So in the AIM method, we allow our experience, we include our connection and support with Mother Earth, and we include more and more and more. We'll talk some more about it, and we'll explore this in a few moments in an experiential exercise in dyads. But the way this works is that when we allow and include more and more, we're just opening the aperture of our awareness, and without pulling on, fixating on, or rejecting anything, including that unpleasant experience. And as we allow and include more and more, eventually we're including the totality, that totality of that oneness, and then we are part of that. And with that, there's more ease, more openness, and more spaciousness. But I'd be curious to hear your experience in the group discussion in a little while that we will have. But before we move into the exercise, I want to have it say a few more things about freedom and what I believe freedom means based on some of the interviews I conducted with spiritually intelligent people from across the world's wisdom traditions. So if I'm on a trip and it's pouring rain on the day and I want to go on the ferry, then of course I will experience disappointment. That will always, what I will also find the practice of, okay, this is what it is, and a deep curiosity about what else is possible now. So again, just allowing the disappointment. This is not to deny and do any kind of spiritual bypassing, but allowing the disappointment, allowing the rain, but then opening to what else is possible. Another person said, one of my continuous practices is non-attachment. I distinguish very carefully between non-attachment and the risk of being detached and not caring. It doesn't mean disengaging. It means I am fully and wholeheartedly committed to an outcome. But I understand that there are larger forces involved that might not provide that particular outcome, but provide another one. And I would be okay with that. So I think this is an important clarification because we might think like, okay, well, I could be free by not caring. Que sera, sera. I don't, whatever will be, will be. I don't need to care. Then I won't be disappointed. I won't be hurt. Uh, you know, but I think that just leads to disengagement from life and reducing our sense of aliveness. So what this person is highlighting is that we could be wholehearted, devoted, committed to our effort, and we have a right, as I think it says the Bhagavad Gita, we have a right for our actions, but not to their fruits. So we're fully engaged, fully committed, devoted, intentional in what we're doing, but we're unattached to outcome. And we let go of any attachment to outcome. And with that comes the freedom and engagement with life, and passionate engagement. So we're not driven by the fear of disappointment. No, we just want to avoid disappointment. So we don't give it our best, which just numbs our aliveness. So we're free to fully express and let go of outcome. So another person spoke of when I experience inner freedom, I could see the playground before me. My play is really an expression of freedom. When there is little at stake, when I'm not trying to protect myself, possibilities in play are available for what wants to happen. Play is the enjoyment and generation of possibility, and that's life's force. So life is always renewing, always creating new possibilities, new life forms. So let's see what might be possible in experimenting around these ideas in an exercise.
Okay, I'm here to join you for explaining and demoing the exercise. Let me just add myself to our spotlight. Hello,
Good to see you, Pauline.
good to be here. So, shall we dive into talking about what we'll do together?
Yes, please. You can lead the way and feel free and give me a second to take a sip of tea.
Of course. So, as usual, we'll be going into breakouts, into dyads. But if you're watching the recording, or even if you're here but you prefer to do it alone, that's also an option. These all can be done as solo exercises through journaling, or you can find a partner to do it with wherever you are. So, this is how we'll start. When you are with your partner, each of you will have about a minute to introduce yourselves. And okay, next, we'll be going into repeating question number one. So whoever wants to go first, as the asker, you will ask your partner, what does autonomy, freedom, and or liberation mean to you? And the person will answer. And do you have anything to add, Yosi, about what kind of answers we're looking for in terms of um, just feeling into the body versus experience, or is this really super open-ended?
So it's super open-ended. Whatever the person comes up for them, let's let it rip. Uh, and someone is asking us to write the questions here in the chat. And I also see that someone, Eric, is saying they can work in person with Marta, so we could make sure to put you two in the same breakout room, and you could just do it in person. That's awesome. But yeah, just what does autonomy, freedom, and or liberation mean to you? Yeah, and then so you ask the person, they answer, you let the answer land. So you create a little space for 1 second if you're the person asking, and then say thank you, and then ask again. So Pauline, let's you and I demo it. I'll,
Okay, great. Would you
so
like to go first as asking or answering?
I'll ask.
Okay.
What does autonomy, freedom, or liberation mean to you?
Freedom means to me that I'm able to choose.
Thank you. What does autonomy, freedom, or liberation mean to you?
Autonomy means that I have inner agency.
Thank you. What does autonomy, freedom, or liberation mean to you?
Liberation means to me that I'm not stuck in the past.
Thank you. Okay, so you get the flavor of it. Yeah, any and all of those things can, and as you were highlighting, it can also include things like, and the way I experience it, like liberation means I'm not stuck in the past, and there's a joy that comes with that, or whatever. So you can deepen the answer, but you don't have to.
So then after the 3 minutes are up, and just to let you know, when you're in the breakouts, you don't have to keep track of the timing. Yosi's voice will come through the breakouts to let us know when it's time to switch roles. So after these 3 minutes, it'll be time to do the same repeating question, just with opposite roles. So then I would be asking Yosi, what does autonomy, freedom, and or liberation mean to you?
It means skipping on the beach while I walk in the morning, and my spirit is soaring.
What does autonomy, or should I say thank you at the end of each answer?
Yes, please,
I
thank
know
you.
you appreciate that. Yeah, it sort of helps to just ground the receptivity from my end and before I move on to the next question. Thank you. What does autonomy, freedom, and or liberation mean to you?
Being inner directed and the prime cause of my being self-made in a sense, in my psyche and my consciousness.
Thank you. So let's pretend that was 3 minutes. And after that, we will move on to the second repeating question. So it will go back to Yossi asking me
Okay, great. So tell me something that limits your freedom or liberation.
something that limits my freedom or liberation is when I am overanalyzing.
Thank you. Tell me something that limits your freedom and liberation.
When I care too much about what other people think.
Thank you. Tell me something that limits your freedom and liberation.
When I don't take care of my body.
Thank you. Tell me something that limits your freedom or liberation.
Really, I think the act of trying limits my freedom.
Thank you. Okay, so you get that. We go for 3 minutes.
3 minutes,
Uh,
yep. And then
Okay.
we'll not swap roles this time. This time we actually go into the next step to go deeper with one of the limitations that I just named. I get to choose, and then we'll go through the AIM method, and Yossi, you're going to be guiding us.
Yeah, so you want to pick one of those things that limited your what?
Yes, so I'm going to pick when I care too much about what other people think.
Okay, great. So take a moment and just feel that limitation of caring about what other people think, giving a lot of weight and priority. And as you consider that limitation, share just how it feels in your body, what sensations, what emotions or feelings moving through your heart, what what thought forms are moving through your mind.
So I notice an energetic leaning forward and sort of coming up as opposed to resting in myself. And the thought forms are, I'm not okay as I am. And also, see me.
Okay, great. So allow that to be there as it is. And as you do, include the force of gravity, Mother Earth pulling you into her center while also supporting you from below to be where and as you are. And what's that like then?
And just to sort of have an aside note, so your partner won't be asking you these questions. This is actually Yosi, your voice will come on and say, share with your partner what it's like.
Yeah.
Okay. So I do notice I can feel my feet on the ground more. I can rest into gravity. And that feels supportive. And I just took a deep sigh. I can feel my body relaxing a bit.
Okay, good. So, yeah, notice now as you include that limitation in Mother Earth, and now include more, whatever is present or accessible in your field of awareness. What other sensations, temperature, pressure, sounds, thoughts, feelings, images, your breath, your heartbeat, what else is available in your awareness?
I'm noticing the space around my body and the feeling of cool air on my arms. I notice sensation in my belly, a little bit of pressure in my head, and the image of clouds floating in the sky.
Mhm. Okay, so what's it like now as you allow that limitation of caring too much about what other people think, your connection to Earth, as well as all these other things that are here and present, accessible in your field of experience and awareness?
I feel much more connected to my body, and with that, there's a subtle sense of joy, just the joy of being alive and being here right now. So it feels more pleasant than it did before. Yeah, I'm not as focused on outward approval. I'm more just enjoying being here.
Okay. Yeah, so see what it's like to just keep opening the aperture, including more and more.
It's very peaceful.
Mhm. And
There's nothing to do.
who and what are you now?
I don't know.
You landed in the mystery, huh? That's pretty
Good
mysterious.
place.
That's pretty mysterious. Okay. You started with the limitation and caring a lot about what other people think, and you ended up not knowing who and what you are. So you might as well not care what other people think, huh?
Precisely.
Right. So so you're gonna do that. I mean, I'm not gonna be doing that obviously personally with you because I won't know what you're experiencing, but I will guide through the broadcast, the allow piece, and then the include the earth piece, and then the more and more, and you kind of get the flavor. So you will do that. I will try not to speak too much, so you could speak, and your partner will be just witnessing and holding space for you. So, as the listening partner, you're just holding space and listening and being present. And of course, you could do the AIM method. You could notice what's happening with you and include your connection to Mother Earth as well as the partner that's speaking to you and more and more. So, you could be aiming simultaneously. There's no limit on aiming. There's no quota here. Um,
And did you want to touch on any of the points at the bottom of this slide?
No, yeah, I mean, the point is the freedom that this kind of gets us act to is we're not compelled to get rid of any of our difficult parts. Like we're not trying to get Pauline to say, well, you really shouldn't care about what other people think about you, which is really not gonna most likely work. I mean, she obviously doesn't like it. So whatever part of her is cares about what other people think, telling it to go away and not be there is not gonna work. I mean, um, but what seems to work is we're not trying. You can't really try to. We're not even trying to let it go. We're not trying to get rid of it. We're not trying to let it go. You can't try really to let go of things. So we're just opening the aperture and we're no longer fixating on this difficulty because if we push against it, we're kind of stuck with it. It's like saying, don't think of pink elephants. No, just okay, you're thinking of pink elephants, just think of white zebras and, um, if there are such a thing. Uh, or even if there aren't. So you just open and more, and without fixating and trying to get rid of anything. And that gives us the spaciousness and the freedom as we allow more and more, we allow and open to the totality. And then we remember ourselves into that totality. We become members within that oneness.
Beautiful. Yes. So these things we can keep in mind as Yosi will guide us through the AIM method. And then we're back to swapping partners. And then we're going to repeat starting at step 4, which is that second repeating question. Tell me something that limits your freedom. So now the other person gets to list the limitations, and then they'll choose one of those limitations. And again, we'll go through that AIM method.
Yeah, you just didn't mean swapping partners. We're not doing speed dating here, but swapping roles.
Thank you.
Maybe some other time we'll do speed dating and see what happens, but that's not on the
Not
program
today.
today. Not today. Okay.
Good point.
But
So
if you like swapping partners, feel free. Um,
then next we'll go into our looping inquiry. And this one is it's the same prompt, but I'll go into the details here about how this looks for the swapping of the questioner versus the answerer.
yeah, so let's do that together, Pauline.
Yes. So Yosi, tell me a way you experience inner freedom.
I experience inner freedom as just lighthearted, freedom to be silly, and I feel like there's an inner smile in my chest and kind of bubbly sensations like champagne bubbles in my chest.
Thank you.
Tell me a way you experience inner freedom.
I experience inner freedom when I'm on the dance floor and I get completely lost in the music and the flow, and I feel this energy that's guiding me without any thought.
Thank you.
Tell me a way you experience inner freedom.
Yeah, I'll build on this dancing thing. I mean, when I'm making lunch and turn on the music and I'm washing, chopping veggies, cooking, whatever, and dancing and moving with the rhythm. And it's just kind of joy and flow and aliveness.
Thank you.
Tell me a way you experience inner freedom.
When I'm lying in the grass and the sun is shining and I can smell the fresh air and hear the birds. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so you guys get the idea, hopefully. So you're going back and forth for 8 minutes. And one thing that is helpful, sometimes people, and I forget where I am in the loop because I'm immersed in the experience, but you alternate talking. So if I ask Pauline, tell me, she answers, then it's my turn to talk because when she finishes, you leave kind of a second to let that answer drop in. And then I say thank you. And then once I talked, I said thank you, then it's Pauline's turn to talk. And then she asks me. So you're
Right.
always alternating who's talking, asking, answer, thank you, asking, answer, thank you. And
That's why the thank you is really helpful in this exercise because whoever says thank you, then the other person asks the next question. Yeah.
but it gives a moment for that answer to land and give it a sense to, and as your partner is answering whatever it is that is their experience of inner freedom, perhaps that can evoke that memory, that experience with you. I mean, we're always in relationship, we have our mirror neurons, those feelings are contagious. So, as your partner is speaking of their experience, you might notice how that's affecting you. And this kind of creates a positive feedback loop where the inner freedom is deepened
Yeah.
and experienced in the field. So,
Exactly. So after the 8 minutes of the looping inquiry, then because you were both taking turns, there's no need to switch roles because the whole time you were switching roles. So we'll go straight into the debrief, just open-ended, discussing, sharing how that was for about 2 minutes.
between the two of you, yeah.
Yeah. And then you'll have a chance to share in the big group, which is just such a beautiful experience. So we welcome all insights, questions, anything that you come out with. Just in terms of the exercise itself, are there any questions about the format? I can talk about practical things once we stop the recording, such as, if you don't want to participate or you have to go. But just for right now, in terms of doing the exercise and the steps involved, any questions? And I'll check the chat to see as well.
Okay, looks like everybody is clear and free to ask questions or um so so I think we could stop the recording for now and then talk about logistics like before
Yeah.
we put people in the breakout if we want to take a break now or at the end of the exercise, which is probably going to take about 35 minutes or so.
So anyone who's watching the recording, we will see you on the other side of the breakouts. And welcome back from the breakouts.
Yes, thank you all. So would love to hear how that was for you, what you've learned, any questions that came up for you, if you're feeling more or less free, more and less in bondage. Um,
Be happy to share. I don't know, or would you want us to dive in or?
yeah, please, whatever. Eric, good to hear your voice. So,
Thank you, Yosi. Wow, that was much more impactful than I could have imagined. We actually were trying to take care of our baby during this time, so we took turns, but we still did the exercise somehow. But and he's asleep now. It was such a beautiful partner exercise, couple exercise. I don't know if it was ever envisioned that way, but just learned so much about my wife and how she values freedom and I certainly feel a lot more expanded. I feel a lot more oneness after this session and just so much more gratitude and love. Um, like that much more in love with my wife. Like it was a beautiful experience.
wow, that was not part of the intended exercise, but maybe that was part of divine will. So I'll go along and submit to divine will. No, I mean I understand, kidding aside, how it's an intimate exercise. We normally don't share those things about ourselves, like what freedom and autonomy means to us, what limits our freedom. So certainly I could see how and why sharing that creates a deepened sense of intimacy and connection. So I am delighted to hear that. So, and you say you feel more oneness. What's that like right now for you? What's it like to share that here in the large group?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm grateful. I mean, I kind of go in and out of a states of oneness, more out than in. So I appreciate exercise that gets me more into that place. But yeah, I
Uh-huh.
feel it's a place of greater ease inside. I feel more radiant. I think I began to, as I was closing my eyes, feeling like kind of wave forms radiating off of me, or I
Uh-huh.
felt like a projection and like a sort of like I'm there's all these thoughts about we can just by being somehow impact reality or like be in a different state. I almost felt like I was waking up into a different realm of consciousness where everybody is free. And I've been asleep inside this place where everybody's in prison.
So you and everybody is free from this place, and you're radiant. So feel this radiance, and just take a moment and feel this radiance, and that's coming through you or within you. Where do you experience it? Is it?
There's a little bit, there is more of a sense, I think the sense of connection to earth, I feel like my root is more open. So I feel more like I'm connecting to a bigger energy source.
Bigger
I
energy
feel
source. Okay.
I feel some lift in my chest, like in my core, like my center, my central axis. There's a little bit more of like a lifted energy.
Lifted
Um,
energy.
yeah, and as I said, I feel kind of almost like wave forms kind of coming off of my shoulders, or it's kind of like
It's like pulsation. I'm sensing a
yeah,
bit.
there's a wave, yeah, a wave, a pulsing energy. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're putting out this wave frequency like a lighthouse, a tower.
That's how I feel. Yeah, it's a beautiful invitation to feel that. I mean, I felt that way occasionally, but before I think it took me like 2 weeks of deep hypnotherapy training to kind of get to that place. So it was a pretty quick. And I'm also reminded just of the beauty of working with others. Like I just, there's a sense, there's a kind of always this dynamic duality between aloneness and oneness. And so I think the gift to do this in presence with yourself and the other people on the call and then my wife just really helps kind of reinforce it in a way. Yeah,
Yeah. Having others hold space is beautiful. Yeah. Okay.
it's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody want to share, or do we want to hear from the wife, Marta?
Oh,
No, no pressure, just an invitation.
thank you. Yeah, well, I feel like we're kind of experiencing similar thing. I would also describe it as like more openness in the solar plexus, which is where I often feel fearful.
Fearful, uh-huh. Yeah.
And now it's more open and radiant also, and the
Mhm.
vibrations when I turn my awareness to the vibrations of the earth and how I'm vibrating with it,
Uh-huh.
kind of opens me up to life in general. So that's what I'm feeling right
Yeah,
now.
vibrating, radiating in the solar plexus. So yeah, see what it's like to actually synchronize your breath with the breath of the earth. And
Mm-hmm.
the earth is breathing and we're breathing. And it's like children of earth, children of mother, synchronizing our breath with mother while we're on her chest.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing with our baby when we put him to sleep. We're trying to model the relaxed breathing to help him relax and fall asleep. And it
Yes.
works like a charm. So we can do it for ourselves too with Mother Earth.
Yeah, synchronizing our breath with Mother Earth.
Mhm.
Kind of rhymes nicely. Okay. But you're also feeling your radiance, the radiance that's coming through you.
Yeah.
And how's that affecting you when you feel this radiance?
It feels joyful, just like pure joy. Mm, kind of empty mind, sort of like the mind is not so busy as usual.
Clear, empty mind and
Yeah.
pure joy. Well, I'm delighted to hear that.
Thank you so much.
We didn't get much out of the workshop today, I guess.
Okay.
I'm disappointed over here.
Okay.
No, I think it's an amazing. I've been studying this kind of spirituality movement, the oneness and all that stuff. But I haven't done any exercises like this, and I'm really I've enjoyed it, and I feel like it's really well structured and very helpful.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored and touched by your share. So yeah, thank you. Anybody else want to share or ask questions or
Well, I just want to thank everyone for holding the space. And I love that I was paired with Eva because I just adore how the universe works to create synchronicity. And I just happen to be stuck in a parking lot right now in the middle of Mill Valley with, and it's okay. I just and I thought I would have to interrupt the what we were doing, the exercise, and I'm just so happy that my car broke down so that I could be present here with the exercise.
okay.
So
Wow.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, we had this quote about the rain, this person on vacation, so what possibilities? And here we had a bigger thing, like the car broke down and some new possibilities opened up, huh? What do
Yeah,
you, what do you know? What do you know? Okay.
thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anything else? Ava.
I
Eva.
also it felt very synchronous to be speaking and meeting Natalie. And I felt it was a beautiful and expansive experience. I felt we really fully dove into these questions, and then we just feel lighter and more expansive and have come to a more place of peace and joy in our hearts than before we entered and met each other. And we've really going down layers and layers of, when you go into these questions, go into in looping, and you just go further and further into it, which I love, because I know that the layers, when you go about at least 7 layers deep into a question, is when you really get to the heart of it. So thank you so much, Yosi, and thank you for everybody.
Yeah, get to the heart of it. And what's happening in your heart now?
It's open, it's soft, it's light, it's free. That's the whole topic of freedom. I was just saying, like, I've never felt more free in my life, and it just feels so good to be here with you, with all of you, and I just feel so blessed and grateful.
Wow, blessed, grateful, never felt so free in my life. Wow.
I haven't.
I'm like, wow.
I can't stop smiling today. I'm like walking up the park, like I'm so happy.
Oh, okay.
I think people can tell. I'm like too happy.
All right. Okay. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. I'm delighted. I'm really delighted. Okay. Anything else? Pauline, do you want to say anything, or should we talk about our next event?
Yes, Yosi, what is our next event? Shall I share the grand reveal for our theme?
Sure. I trust the right theme will come through.
I'm glad you trust. Speaking of trust, when we meet in August, I believe the fourth Friday, we will be diving into trust. What would you like to share about how trust shows up for you, Yosi?
Wow, how many hours do we have now? No,
Got a whole month until August.
okay. I'll just say this. I think that, all these qualities are kind of interrelated and interlinked. I mean, to feel our freedom, to allow our experience to be what it is, to surrender into truth, to surrender into divine will, to surrender into reality, all of that is built on a foundation of trust. So, trust is really essential. It's the ground of a lot of these things. So, I think trust is super crucial and important. And there's so many dimensions of trust. There's how we trust ourselves and our ability to respond to life, how we trust other people, and how we trust life, how we trust the universe. So we'll be playing around with those, and I trust that those of you who are called to be here will be here, and yeah. So I think it's been delightful to have you here, and as I said, I think trust is essential, and so that's my commercial. Now commercial break is over.
I trust that landed with some of us. It did it with me.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Any comments, questions?
Just so delighted to hear everyone shares today. Thank you all
Yeah.
so much for being
Yeah.
here.
What do you guys see in Pauline's face now? Just type it into the chat.
Here,
Just
let me put myself on spotlight so the video people can see me too. If you're watching the recording, you're like, what are they talking about? So I really was just so touched by everyone's shares.
uh yeah, let's see. Wow, she turned into Kuan Yin. Okay. Pure brilliance. Wow. Okay.
Your brilliance wasn't for me, that was for the event. So thank you for sharing that, Eric.
No, what I see is pure radiance. I mean, light and glow. That's what I see. I don't know if anybody else sees that,
I
just
see it in all of us.
okay. Yeah.
Yes.
You're a good mirror. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Looking forward to next time. We'll put up the sign up for the next event within a couple hours.
And if there's anybody else that you think
Thank you.
might benefit or want to join, please send them our way.